coronavirus outbreak of 2020, society has started to crumble. Donald Trump has lost his mind. He went on a racist tirade. The people of YSGOAT have been confined to caves, talking communication. This is a special episode, Corona style, of YSGOAT. Hey, Joseph, how you doing?
I'm doing terrible. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing okay. You know, I can't leave the house anymore. Now that everyone's got the corona.
It is. I'll tell you, I've been out briefly every single day, and there's no trapfic.
And the lampposts.
It is crazy.
Well, okay, so this episode might be a little weird because we're recording it differently. We're not together. We're talking from very far away through Skype, and we'll see how this sounds. This might sound like complete horse shit. So bear with us. We're gonna see how this sounds, and then if it's okay, we'll be doing this for a little while. Until we're allowed to leave and go back into society.
It is crazy. How long? I guess I'll jump to this right away. What is your gut feeling on how long we will be like this?
Where we live in the DFW area?
Yeah,
I will say at least a month. At least. It's gonna be a while. Like, our kids are not going back to school. I think. I don't want to go into too much detail about our personal lives with like the kids and like your family and my family and stuff.
Sure.
But it's gonna be a while. I think there's gonna be some homeschooling for the rest of the school year. Which is crazy. I mean, the school technically at the spring break anyway. The school's over anyway in like less than 8 weeks. But it sucks.
It does. I mean, I guess I didn't want to start with this, but since we're here, having taught before, that'll do a number on a kid staying out of school for a couple weeks, couple months. In the early part of their educational career. And homeschooling is tough. You know, I mean, it's hard. So.
What we do is kind of virtual school. I don't know. The whole thing is insane. I mean, last week, I feel like everybody was like, it was starting to like say, like, you really need to like start social distancing. And then like basically Sunday, it was like, you need to do this like now. And then Monday, it was just like everything just started closing. Everything just shut down. Like the gym I go to, like, finally shut down. Like all these places, like, I don't know. I haven't, like, we were out and then, you know, my son wants to go out to eat. I'm like, we're not eating out. Sorry.
Right.
Like, I'm not sitting at a place. I'm not going to dine in some place right now. It's like I'm an artist and I sell stuff, so it's like I had to go to the post office. Thankfully, the post office this past week or two has been like empty.
Oh, I'll bet.
Nobody there. But this disease is really bizarre. So, you know, this episode is going to be kind of about the primary and the coronavirus.
Yep.
And it's a strange. It's like, we have to like stop everything to like what they say there's a curve.
Right.
The only way to get is to flatten the curve.
Yes.
Is to basically, you know, not go to Clearwater Beach and party it up.
Now, what about Red Robins? Are they cool?
God. Let me tell you, I don't even understand the Red Robin thing. I feel like there was some like Republican lady in Nevada or something
who was school board candidate.
Yeah,
Katie something
bragging about going there. All of them, like if you like went on Twitter, all the right wing chuds were like, everything's fine, go out. Like that, you know, that stupid guy with the cowboy hat, that sheriff that like
Yes.
That like he was like making all kinds of crazy tweets. Basically, Twitter took down his tweets. They were considered like part of a massive disinformation campaign. Like this guy's gonna get people killed. The governor of Oklahoma was like, "I'm out with my kids. Everything's great. Go out and support your local businesses."
Right.
And then, the thing is, the reality is that this thing proves that our system does not really work. And the only way this system works is if you are constantly out consuming. And if you're not out consuming, the system doesn't work.
Yeah.
The minute you stop consuming, there's nothing for you. Like, meaning like all those people working those type of jobs are not going to have a thing to fall back on. There's no, like, they're not getting benefits. They're going to lose pay. Like, isn't it like people are losing jobs left and right? Right? Isn't that like happening in the past couple of days?
From what I understand, about 20% of the population has either lost their job or has had their hours cut back significantly.
They're basically on hold until
Yeah.
it's over. Like everyone, like there's a significant part of the population that's not going to be making a living for like at least a month, if not
Right.
more.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, from what I understand, and I'm not a scientist, obviously, is that
Play one on podcast.
Right, is that everyone's eventually going to get this. Like that's the theory, but you want to delay people getting it and spread it out, and that will somehow make things better.
Right.
Like you flatten the curve. And that way you're not spreading it as much. And so when people do catch it, the ones that are affected poorly can see a person in a hospital because the hospital's not swamped. And eventually enough people catch it and are immune to it that the virus doesn't spread as quickly. So Trump's big thing now, and he's wrong about everything, so I hate to even bring it up, but the big thing he's hit on now is 15 days to flatten the curve. And if we all just sort of hit pause for 2 weeks, then that'll do it. Now, I don't believe that, but yeah, it'll be longer than that.
What's going on there?
What?
I don't know. There was like weird noises. I guess it's just Skype stuff.
Oh, Skype.
We're using Skype stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, New York basically said that. I mean, it's a bigger population, it's more dense, and they were like basically say it's going to be 45 days till they peak, probably. It's going to take that long for them to peak on this virus to know how many people actually have it. And the thing that the Trump administration did, which is so fucked up, and how they bungled it, is that they fucked up on the kits, on the ventilators, on the respirators. Anything to do with that benefits our country, make sure that this was controlled on an early level. They like purposely, it's like they didn't want to accept things from the WHO, or not the band the WHO, just to be clear.
Damn that Roger Daltrey.
Yeah. Oh, I want to make some more money. Tommy, can you hear me, please?
Yeah.
But like, and then you find out like they were trying to find a way to profit off of it. Like the Kushner's families, like connected to like the healthcare company that's going to make the money off of these eventual respirators. But it's like people are not getting these tests, so it's like we're being told to basically hide, which you should kind of do just to avoid this. There's people like this disease now is in every state of the country.
Yeah. Yes.
It's everywhere. And people are like just elevating it, making it worse. And the problem is, though, there's no test. You find out there's like everyone's like complaining. They're like, well, Tom Hanks got it. Well, yeah, but Tom Hanks was also in Australia.
Right.
I mean, yeah, he's a celebrity. He's probably going to get more of a VIP over like someone. But the reality was he wasn't here. He was in Australia when it happened. So it's like, it's not, I don't know. Someone asked Trump a question at his press conference today. Actually, it was probably the most honest thing he ever said. They said it was about regard to the basketball players getting it before other people. And he just goes, well, that's kind of like how it works. I mean, it wasn't the exact quote, but it was pretty much like that. It was like, that's just how life is, you know? Like, and it was probably the most honest. It was literally the most honest thing he ever said. I mean, the fact is, he began the press conference by calling it the Chinese virus, which is just like, it just sounds like something from the 1800s that like the railroad barons would say, like to get
right.
people, like, immigrants. I mean, it's disgusting. Like, and then you get these chuds out there pretending that like this isn't racist, that he's aiming it at China, that the Chinese and the Asian community, because the people who will are racist will just attack the entire Asian community. They really do see what Trump's saying when he says that it's an attack on the actual country, China, not the actual Chinese people, and that's complete horseshit. Yeah. It's fun. What is wrong with him? It's like, is he really trying to create a riot? He's trying to get people killed.
I think he's just doing anything he possibly can to draw attention away from the fact that he screwed this up terribly. Yeah. He encouraged people to live their lives as normal when he should have been encouraging them to stay home. He had the opportunity. Every decision he could have made in the first month of this crisis, he made the wrong decision. And sometimes it was just being dumb, and sometimes it was out of greed, and sometimes it was just bad luck. But like, everything he did was wrong. And he's desperate to avoid having people know that.
And it's really sad. Watching the press conference today, and it's really pathetic when you're sitting there going, my God, I wish Mike Pence was president.
Yeah.
Because that man, like, you know, people are like, oh, if he was president, he would have said that. I don't know if he would. I don't think so. I think he would have bungled it too, but not on the level Trump's bungling it. And he would at least appear more presidential. It's like, these are like those, like, this moment is what you heard in the debates, like the 3 a.m. That's what this is. We're experiencing the 3 a.m. phone call right now.
Absolutely.
The hypothetical bullshit argument of like, the nukes are coming, or the, you know, something bad is happening. Well, this is it right here. We're kind of experiencing it.
Yeah.
And this guy should, like, it's not going to happen, but he should, like, Nancy Pelosi should put another articles of impeachment for just fucking this up.
Yeah.
And intentionally lying. There's tons of interviews with him lying about it, downplaying it, going to rallies, calling it a Democratic hoax, and all these different things. And they could put the articles of impeachment, pressure the Republicans, and who knows, he could be, like you said, he could be out tomorrow.
It wouldn't take much. And then at least you have, and like, I agree with you. I don't like Mike Pence, but at least I have to imagine he's.
I'm not saying, ooh, I dream of the day of Mike Pence presidency. It's just like, I look at him giving his, because he goes up there and talks a lot because Trump has basically threw it on him. And when he speaks, he doesn't sound like he's trying to start a race war.
Yeah.
It's like, it's kind of a matter of fact. It's generic. He's playing generic president talk. And honestly, that's kind of what we need right now. And we got a buffoon.
Well, I think, and I've told this to a few people, that's the thing that gives me the most anxiety, is that I don't have any faith in the president. You know, I don't think he's telling the truth. I think he's actively being dishonest. I don't think he has a plan. I think it's really startling to think that we could experience like a Great Depression type scenario, and it's that we're there because the sycophants around him are too afraid to invoke the 25th Amendment. You know, it's really terrifying.
Right. No, for stimulus package of any kind to keep everyone afloat. If they don't, I mean, they are supposedly they are going to be pausing on some debts. It's starting to like slowly drip. I know like New York State is basically put in a 30-day like on all like forms of debt, like anything that's like that was per person or over in this time, like they're at least saying, okay, you can't You can't be kicked out of your house. You can't be, and that has to happen. Like for people to, if they really want to make sure that 1 million or 2 million people don't die from this, if they really do, then they're gonna have to just become socialists for a couple of months.
Yeah.
Which is a joke. It's like, you hear them talking and it's like, you all sound socialist now. It doesn't sound that bad all of a sudden. It's like Norway. Well, go ahead.
No, it's just, you're right. I mean, all the ideas being floated are command economy, socialist type ideas. I mean, it's the only thing that'll bail this failure out. I mean, and I guess you could say that, like, look, this was a virus. It wasn't a failure of capitalism. But that's not exactly the case. And that's all relevant to your original point, is that once people stop consuming, all the cards fall.
Yeah, everything. It's a fake house, like you said. It's a card house. It's a very thin line, and it's like, you know what? I'm not going to go to Red Robin today, and I'm not going to go to the store today, and I'm not going to go there today, and I'm not going to go see a movie today, and I'm not going to do this today. Well, guess what? That everything, like you said, it just starts crumbling, and it just shows how easy it is. What's also really what's funny about this virus, and it just shows how much damage we do on a daily basis. And if we just it's almost like it's like we should do a weekly, not a purge, but like a weekly hike for like the environment. They said like in Italy, in Venice, it's like the water is clear. There's sea life in there again. It's like all just from like not having boats and all this other shit going on for like what they've been locked down for like a week or two now. Like, and that's like totally insane. But just this just proves to all these dickheads who, at the end of the day, these shits are not gonna care. They're not gonna change their mind. They're not gonna. We could be like, look, we are causing. Maybe we don't need these cruise ships spewing out 1 million cars worth of exhaust, because those things are not. They're not operational right now, and the Earth is probably like breathing easily for like the first time. It's like those. Like you're going to see like an ecological impact. It's going to be very small, like and quick, but they're probably going to be like, wow. Didn't you? I think we talked about this already, but they say like NASA, like was it like China? Like it was like a third of the CO2 or something. It was like missing.
It was something really startling, like noticeably different. And I read the same article where like in Italy, the water's bluer and there's dolphins swimming near the shore again. And in China, they were talking about like certain primates coming back and stuff. I mean, it's really bizarre. I read one article that said that this will change the way we live. Like now that we've seen it, we will certainly change some things. And I have to think that's true.
But again, it just shows that, I don't know, it's kind of crazy. I just think like when all of a sudden this is all said and done, it's like, one, I don't even know how, we're not even there yet. We're nowhere near, this thing is nowhere near done. And we still have people going out there saying it's a hoax. You still have, like, I had to like have one of my sons, I found out like they weren't taking it seriously. I was like, screw it. You're not hanging out with anyone right now, because I can't have you get sick or get us sick or we get you sick. It's like, we really have to take this seriously. There's people out there who are not taking this seriously. Then, like, I don't know. I'm sure, who knows? Again, the chance could be they could be fine, but at the same time, they might not.
I think that's another thing that's never really been explained, and I don't have any trust in the government, so I'm not going to get an explanation. Like how dangerous is this? I mean, obviously it's very dangerous, and some people can perish, but is it? I've heard numbers as like it could be, it has a 1% rate of fatality or up to 4%. I mean, nothing's good. You don't want any percentage. What?
I'd rather not. Well, the problem is, it's like, the thing that frightens me about it more than anything is not even the actual virus. It's the fucking bungling of it, the lack of tests, the lack of, like, if I were to come down with this or think I come down with this, the amount of like fucking circles or whatever I'm gonna have to jump through to get a test is like gonna be insane. Like the amount of like, and then to like get any type of like health care attached to it, and like, I mean, like, thankfully we have like okay health care. It won't put us in the, you know, we're not going to go broke over this, but other people will. And that it's like the virus itself is almost less frightening than how shitty our system is. Yeah. And that's what's, is that like, and how people react to things and how our society reacts to things is what's frightening. It's like how people are so selfish. It's like they, you know, I see all these idiots on like Instagram and stuff, and they're like, we don't care, we're partying. And I'm like, did you see the, like, I don't know if I showed you that video. They interviewed these idiots at the Clearwater, Florida.
Yes. I don't know if you...
It's like heavy metal parking lot without any of the charm. But these people, they don't give a shit. They're all like really young, and they're all really selfish, and they're just like, whatever, you know. Some of them are like just straight up selfish, and then some of them just come up with these funny like moral reasons why they're like doing it, which I appreciate those a little bit more. It's like, okay, you put a little more thought into being an idiot, while the other ones are just straight up ignorances. Like, and it's just frightening because it's like, okay, we're being told to like do this now, but you know, the past couple of weeks or the past couple of months, we haven't been.
Right.
We've been waiting in lines. We've been in movie theaters. We've been, and this is also the other frightening thing about this virus is that there's a over 2-week gestation period. I feel like, to reference an episode of YSGOAT, American Werewolf of London.
Right.
He gets bit by the wolf, and he's visited by his ghost, his friend, who's now a ghost.
Yes.
And he says, when the moon comes back in a month, you're going to turn into a werewolf. And he's just like, what? So, like, the first half of the movie is just him, like, denying it's going to happen and all these different. And then when he finally turns into the wolf, it's like, and I feel like I almost feel like that same sensation. It's like, did I get this sickness? I went to the gym. I went to this place. I was around this place. I was near a kid that was coughing the other day at the school.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and then this, like, one day I'm going to wake up being like, except there won't be a cool werewolf transformation. I'll just be freaking the fuck out and ill, and, you know, my family will be freaking out too. Because the thing is, this thing is, like, highly contagious. That's the other thing. And it, like, supposedly lives on shit for days. Like, it's not. Like, well, that's like HIV. Like, the one benefit of HIV was that it died in the air or something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
It was, I mean, aside from intercourse, it was difficult to catch. You know, I mean, like, you weren't going to catch it sharing a glass.
Well, needles. People were needles, and then also hospitals weren't doing things right too. So there was like people. It changed. Thankfully, it changed how people were using transfusions, regardless of drugs or how hospitals. They became a little more cleaner. So I don't know what the hell this is going to be. I don't know how our lives change from this. Like, how do you prevent this? The only thing is now I just see this like next year when I get my flu shot, I'm probably also going to get my coronavirus shot too.
Right.
And you're going to get the same anti-vaxxing assholes.
Yeah. I think that they just do it at birth now. And like, you don't get a choice. You know, you just dose them up. Or you can live in like a leper colony or something. You know, we'll put you on like what used to be Alcatraz. If you don't want to vaccinate, then you can live like on one of those islands where they put goats or something. You know, go live there.
Go live in the anti-vaxxer with Jenny McCarthy.
Right, you know. Do whatever the fuck you want on your island. But if you live amongst us, civilized folk, then your kid gets a shot when it's born.
Yeah, it's like what were they saying? It's like a lot of the more lefty people I follow and watch on YouTube and stuff, and they've been saying like, "Where's all the libertarians and anti-vaxxers during this?" Like they've been pretty quiet.
Yeah,
because they know that they're bullshit. They don't that libertarians and all that stuff during an extreme form of crisis, their whole ideology is thrown out the door.
It's bananas.
Unless you believe in society just completely collapsing, then that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work. And that's why, it's like, it sucks that, maybe it's time to segue more to where we're going with the primary now.
Yeah.
It sucks that Bernie's at this point, he hasn't dropped out yet. Somebody asked him, and he had a great answer where he basically cursed the reporter out.
Yeah.
Do you know what he said exactly? I mean, he's like, I'm feeling a crisis.
He said, I've got a fucking epidemic to work on. Don't you think I got enough to think about? It was a real classic Bernie answer.
He's still in the Senate, it's still a senator. He has to vote on things, and he has to fight for things in the Senate. He has to deal with assholes like Rand Paul.
Mm.
I wish Rand Paul's neighbor was in the Senate.
Yeah.
Or at least...
I did read a tweet today where someone said that they hope the next president's first act is to pardon the guy who beat the shit out of Rand Paul. Full pardon.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be wonderful. Yeah, I mean, what did he claim his was that he only would do it if they got out of the Afghanistan war? Supposedly that was.
Yeah, some nonsense like that.
Some other senators and congressmen that voted against things because they could include an anti-abortion thing in there or something. It's just like these guys are ridiculous. It's like they don't know when to stop. It's like they're just sleazebag. It's like, really, this is the time. Don't worry, you'll be able to sneak in your bullshit in another one. Maybe not do it during during the collapsing of society.
Well, this is unlike anything I've ever experienced. This feels to me much worse than 9/11. I know that
it's different from 9/11 because 9/11 you had and that's and I think that's what Trump's trying to do with the China. Why he's saying China virus. He's trying to create an enemy. There is no enemy.
Right.
The disease is. I mean, yeah, the disease is the enemy, but it doesn't have a face, and you can't. It doesn't have a geological it doesn't have a geography on the map. It's trying to by saying China virus, and it's. I mean, one besides it being racist, he's trying to create an enemy. It's classic Republican. It's like, I need an enemy. I need something for the American people to root against in this, and it's so stupid. It's not needed right now.
No. Well, so the primaries occurred, and it looks like Joe Biden wrapped it up.
Well, the problem with the primary too, with this virus, is people were we should have postponed it. There were supposed to be 6 states, and only 3 of them happened yesterday.
I think there was supposed to be 4. I thought Ohio was the only one that postponed.
I think there was one more.
Oh, okay. That could be. I don't know. I know that 3 actually wound up voting: Arizona, Illinois, and Florida.
Yeah.
And Ohio was supposed to vote, and I don't know about the others.
Was it no? Georgia's delaying theirs.
Oh, okay.
But I think this again is another good example of what? Maybe the election should just all be mail-in ballots. I mean, what's the word? Mail-in ballots.
Absentee ballot or something like that.
They should just all be that. I think the state of Washington is pretty much that.
Oregon has done stuff like that for years.
They should just do that. It would probably be more efficient, and you wouldn't have to worry about having to have polling. Of course, people will always find some way to think that it's corrupt or it doesn't work. But to me, this is at least this is a perfect way to avoid when you have a situation like a storm or like
Yes.
some kind of like disaster, or maybe now is not the time to have 200 people lined up in a polling station, and probably a virus where they say you shouldn't even be 6 feet near each other. That's what they're saying too. They're saying, which I don't even understand. It's like, you remember Aquaman? Like, not Aquaman the now, not the fucking beefy boy guy.
Right.
I'm talking about Aquaman when you were a kid, like the Super Friends.
Yeah.
Do you
Green
remember,
pants, orange shirt.
Do you remember his rules of Aquaman?
No.
If he was out of the water for 60 minutes, he died.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
He had to be in the water. So it's like, what, 59 and a half minutes? I'm feeling good. I'm fine. 60 minutes.
Yeah,
and it's like the 6 feet thing is just so funny. It's like, all right, what if it's like 63 inches away? Is that going to stop the coronavirus?
I don't know. I've gone to the store a few times.
Ugh.
And
not right now.
Well, I lather myself up with antibacterial gel, and I am mindful of like where I go and everything, but I can feel it like subconsciously or psychosomatically. I can feel like the air thick with virus. It's really scary.
I see the germs on people crawling on their skin now.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, okay. So anyway, I think. Well, here's what I think: is that they should have done something with the election. And you and I have talked about this before. There's a lot of roadblocks for younger people, which is Bernie's core constituency, and there was a lot of reasons why maybe they should have postponed some of this or redone it. I'm not thrilled with the outcome. I was really hoping Bernie would win. I'm kind of resigned to the fact that Biden is going to win. Bernie seemed to me to be signaling today that he was thinking about getting out of the race. I don't know. I mean, I'm still hoping Bernie meets with the Biden people and says, these are my, demands or whatever. I'll rally my troops in support of you as long as you go with these proposals. But I don't know. That seems to be the direction it's going from my perspective.
Well, I've changed my like how I'm talking about things now. I am telling people they need to vote Trump out, and that's it. You have after today with him starting a press conference in the middle of it and saying China virus. I was just like, this guy needs to be the fucking taken out. Like he cannot be. Let me reframe that because I don't want the service coming down on my roof. He needs to be removed from office. He needs to be voted out. And if it's Biden, then it has to be him. And I will tell people that, listen, I wanted Bernie for it. I voted for Bernie. I actually sent him some money the other day. And I'll tell you, I think he is done because I was getting, since I donated money, literally 3 or 4 times a day, I was getting, can you donate more? Can you?
Yeah.
Which is what happens anytime you donate to any campaign. It's not just Bernie, it's any campaign.
Right, yeah.
And even when you're not even donating to them, if you end up on their mailing list, they will be asking you for money.
Yes.
Beto, I was on his because of the Senate. I was asked for money every day. Biden, I don't even know how I even was on his mailing list. I was getting asked for money every day. Tom Steyer, I don't know how I got on his mailing list. That's my, okay, I see it. He's going to eventually announce. I think they want to I think he wanted to keep, let the Senate take care of, doing whatever they can to especially with having monsters like Mitch McConnell in there, whatever they can keep society going and not crumble. I think he'll eventually make an announcement at the end of the week, if not next week. I don't think he needs to jump out. I think it's done, though, especially since they're not asked. I have not received one email today asking for money. I got one email early today where they said he was reassessing his campaign. Usually when they say reassessing the campaign, that's code for we're done. We threw in the towel. I will say this though, it is kind of funny. I'm not the only one who said this. Like one of the big like critiques on Warren was, and all the Warren supporters or these people who would like be total jerks about when we would be like, hey, maybe we should come out and endorse Bernie, and he'd be like, Warren doesn't owe you anything. They'll say stuff like that, like Warren doesn't owe you she doesn't owe you anything. And I'm like, imagine if Bernie people said, Bernie doesn't owe you anything. Like people would lose their shit.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, oh yeah, Bernie. You know what? Bernie needs some me time. He's got to go on SNL, make a cute little video. He's got to, he needs the time for himself, and he doesn't owe you anything. But that's bullshit because he would never do that. And
well, I think he's got a lot of leverage. I think this is his moment. This is a environment built to hear discussions about Medicare for all. It's an environment built to hear about things like universal basic income. It's an environment built for all those really progressive ideas because that's the way in the future. What?
Thanks to the coronavirus.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know.
This opens the door for all of that. It opens the door like, hey, you know what? Maybe we do need Medicare for all. Especially when you said the potential 20% of people losing their jobs in this country, you're going to allow. So basically, how do you make an argument for people? You can't make the argument and say everyone loves their healthcare when they don't have healthcare anymore.
Yeah.
You can't make that argument. You can't say you can't go on TV and go, people really love their private health insurance. Oh, do they? They don't have it anymore because they don't have a job anymore, or they were laid off, or somebody posted a thing and said like my brother got a job at the Marriott and he was laid off, literally the other day, and he tried to claim benefits and they said you're technically still an employee because what the Marriott did was they just put you down for 0 hours.
Right. I saw that somewhere.
And which means you can't collect. You're still not getting health care, and you also can't collect any type of unemployment insurance. So I think this will change, and this is where Bernie can have a meeting with Biden and basically change his whole entire rhetoric and be like, you're not going to be listening to Bloomberg.
Right.
You're not going to be listening to Jamie Dimon. You're going to be listening to me, and the fact is, you need all the young people that were going to come out and vote for me. You need to get them because the people that are going to be losing their jobs are going to be people more on the younger side, probably.
Oh yeah.
And then you're going to see some of those elderly people or older that are still working that are going to lose their job because of this, and they're not going to have their health insurance anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then
they'll have Medicare.
I voted for the guy in the primary who said he would veto Medicare for all.
Yeah.
He has to change that or he will get crushed by Trump. Because Trump will lie. Trump will say he's for all these things just to steal votes. He can easily come in and pivot to the left on Biden on so many different issues. And I think Biden needs to. It's like if Bernie really wanted to, he still could legitimately stay in and be a nuisance to Biden.
Oh yeah,
he could do
absolutely
what Hillary did to Obama in 2008 and say, "I'm sticking around in the primary," because I remember in June of '68 when Bobby Kennedy was killed. Remember when she said that?
Yeah.
I was like, my God, what is wrong with this person? Why would you even introduce that?
Yeah, that's a weird one.
I mean, what is it Bernie could come on TV and be like, well, I don't know, this guy seems a little lost. They gotta save for people like that. He could totally. He still has 800 delegates or something.
Oh yeah.
He could be a total asshole and stick around, but he's not going to do that.
Mm.
And I feel like, and I could be wrong and everything, but I feel like maybe Biden might be a little more appreciative to have Bernie on his side.
Oh, I'll bet.
or he might. No, go ahead.
I've heard too that they actually like each other, that they have some sort of good relationship outside of politics or whatever. That they kind of like each other, and I think that helps a lot.
Well, they go to the same guy that sells those, like old people wear those socks that have a holster. What do they call them?
Bracers.
Yeah, like that's like a really old person thing. So they probably both have those, and so it makes sense.
Yeah.
I never understood those. I remember as a kid looking at those and going, "Why do you need those? What the fuck's wrong with your socks?"
Well, I like Bernie. I still had wished for him to win. I don't have a problem supporting Biden, and with a little work, Biden could get me real excited about him.
Oh, I heard super pumped.
Well, I'll tell you, if he brought Bernie aboard and Bernie kind of fed him some lines, and Biden was like, "Yeah, I can do that," and he picked like a decent progressive vice president, I could be there.
My fear is he's going to pick Klobuchar, which is basically just Tim Kaine in a dress.
Yeah, right. It may literally be Tim Kaine in the dress.
Like, my fear is that he picks someone like that. Everyone assumes that it's Kamala Harris, but I honestly would not. If he picks Amy Klobuchar, Trump is going to win.
Yeah.
Because she's about as exciting as a bowl of wheat paste. Like,
yeah. Well, the one thing I will say about that is that he doesn't have all Biden or Trump has to do is win like a few states. You win Ohio, Michigan, and Wisconsin, and you're in. And maybe people up there like Klobuchar. They eat weird food. They go to like a Tim Hortons and stuff. It's a restaurant up there that serves donuts. Yeah, she could bring in the Tim Horton vote,
Yeah, maybe. I know. Yeah. This is what's going to happen, though. And I know Trump will do this, even though I don't see how this would win him the election. I think when Biden announces VP and it's a woman, Trump will ditch Mike Pence and put Nikki Haley in.
She's garbage.
I mean, again, yeah, she's garbage, but, it'll be enough for the stupid media in this country because we have a really lame media for dumbasses like Chuck Todd be like, oh, well, the optics on this are, we'll say some stupid thing. Well, there's a woman too. That would be a change. He's technically a change candidate also. And it's like, yeah, Margaret Thatcher was a woman. That that didn't really do anybody any good. A vagina doesn't mean the person's good. It's like just as if like anything else. It's like Clarence Thomas in the Supreme Court is not a good thing. Yes, he's African American, but he doesn't have the it was perversion because who was the guy before him that he
Thurgood Marshall,
who was like a progressive.
Yeah.
And it was like a big deal. And then like the Republicans put this like putrid stain of a person in there. It's like a slap in the face of so many people.
Absolutely.
It's the same mentality of calling it the China virus. I mean, this is what I tell people when it comes to, this is what I will say to Biden about Biden. And this will be my defense of Biden. And like, it's not the most like genius thing, but it's an obvious statement. And I'll tell this as a defense towards him. If you don't think yes, he's not the ideal candidate I wanted. But I will say, under Obama, let's say the presidency is a doorway. Under the Biden administration, the door will be open. It won't be as open as we want it to be.
Right.
But it will be open. If Trump gets or any GOP gets in there, the door is slammed shut. You do not get in. You have no say. You have no power. Now, under Biden, the door will be ajar. Under Trump, the door will be slammed shut. Now, there's arguments, and people will say, like, well, he could hurt the progressive agenda. Actually, he could cause more damage by diluting it. But at the same time, you could say, okay, but if you put Trump in there for 4 more years, who has a taste for dictators and would love to find a way to, and he would also have at least two more potential Supreme Court justices, making it
Right.
7-2 right-wing court completely. Therefore, they could come up with any other kind of bullshit to basically keep him in power or keep the Trumps in power or making sure Republicans in power forever. There's all kinds of horrible things that can happen. And you also, as a progressive or as someone who wants the progressive agenda, you don't have any power. You have
Right.
You have fairy tales to tell people to get people excited, and you'll have nothing to deliver. I know that sounds super jaded to say that, but that's a cold hard reality. Like,
it's true.
I'd rather get something in and something done. We've talked about this. Yes, I've been anti-Biden. I went on anti-Biden.
Sure.
Anti-Biden rhetoric. I really wanted Bernie to win, but now things are changing. We have a super racist a dumb racist president who bungled one of the worst. It's 2020, and we're in March, and like it's totally insane. The year started with him almost starting a war with Iran.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Those fires in Australia,
Yep.
that were out of control. Then was like burnt the entire continent down. And then there was like some other thing that was pretty bad. I swear. There's been like weird little things here and there, and now this.
Yeah.
It is just frightening as fuck.
It's terrible. Well, it will be interesting. We're in March now. The election is in November. There's a long time between now and November. A lot can happen.
I think that if Democrats are smart, and it doesn't even have to be Biden's team, it should just be the DNC playing national ads. Mike Bloomberg really does care.
Yeah.
He should take all his ads the Mike Bloomberg ads, he should take all his ads and just replay all the Trump interviews where he downplays the virus.
Yeah. There's a lot of them.
There's so much footage of it where he could say it's a Democratic hoax, China virus, all that stuff, and just play those for the rest of the year.
That would be devastating.
If you tell me that would not convince 5% of the population not to vote for him, then really 40 million people are in a cult. Like, that's insane. And is Fox News like hampering down on their people?
Well, they've shifted their rhetoric greatly. The Washington Post put out a great video that showed what these people were saying a month ago versus what they're saying now. And it's stark. The difference is stark.
Yeah. What was that one guy? Not Greg Guffield. He's like the other one. He looks like a shittiest version of Greg Brady from the Brady Bunch. The shittiest, that one guy who actually was famous for going to he got famous for going to Chinatown and basically being incredibly racist to people.
Oh yeah, Jesse Waters.
Yeah, that guy. Okay, the shittiest Greg Brady. He was on TV. I saw a little clip because I can't sit and actually watch Fox News.
Yeah,
I'll see clips of it, and
you have to watch it through one of those eclipse things.
Yeah. Just the old black box of the thin line, a old man in Fantastic Four. That's the way I can watch Jesse Waters, or I'll go blind. My ears bleed, so I have to wear. So he said, I don't even know exactly what he said, but it was basically talking about how serious this is. And I tweeted that thing that says, "Asshole who was gonna get fired." Change his rhetoric so he doesn't get fired.
Yeah, right.
I mean, there's producers who are listen, we're gonna get our listeners killed.
Yeah.
Our 65 and up demo, or
right.
Post,
they've got a 15% mortality rate, So, ugh.
You want to keep your job there, Greg Brady? You're gonna have to stop this.
Well, I don't know. I know we're gonna try to put this up tomorrow, assuming that the recording is serviceable and all of that. But it seems like so much changes each day that who knows what the world will look like tomorrow,
Yeah, New York alone, it was 4,000 cases, or over 4,000 cases, and then it went up to today. And like I said, Como said basically, come 45 days, that's someone they'll know, and they'll probably be in the hundreds of thousands at that point.
Yeah.
And
that's terrifying.
I'm watching him, and I'm like, my God, I wish he was president. It's like watching all these people who like I'm not really crazy about, but like can politic.
I was in Walmart today looking for macaroni and cheese for my kid because that's all she'll eat. And they were all sold out of it, and all they had left was this shitty Velveeta shells and cheese.
Ooh, those are
and
good.
I was looking at it, and I was like, I wish that were president. I wish that.
It's the same shade of orange. Those are good with the squeeze bag.
Oh, yuck, no.
Oh, it's so good. That's the best.
Well, I would vote for it for president over Trump.
The Uzi bag of cheese.
Yes.
Up out in the sun.
I think the Uzi bag of cheese would be president. The noodles would be vice president. That's a good combo.
Is the store, are they that bad? I haven't been to a store in a couple days.
Yeah, I've been in the Walmart down the road from where we both live 2-3 times. My wife had not like major prescriptions, but she had a couple prescriptions that needed to be picked up. One was today, the other one was the other day. And there's nothing on the shelves. There's nothing. There's no milk. There's no cheese. There's no toilet paper. There's no anything, Now, and it was weird because you could tell when they got a box of something because there would be no pasta, but then they would have like 12 boxes of bow tie noodles. And it was uncanny. Yeah. Well, here's a weird thing. My dog.
Saw that shit in the pandemic.
My dog Harry has a real sensitive stomach, and so we make his dog food.
Yes, I saw. It looks delicious.
It is. It's usually chicken and brown rice and sweet potatoes. Now,
that sounds like a solid meal to me.
There's no chicken left. Today, when I was at Walmart, they were unloading frozen turkeys. Big frozen fucking 12-pound bird. I got
for your dog.
I'm defrosting it now in my sink, and tomorrow morning I'm gonna bake him a fucking turkey.
You can give me some of that.
All we got is jasmine rice. We don't even have brown rice. We have this like fucking jasmine rice.
Diarrhea from that. Why just get turkey and call it a day?
I don't even know what's going on. I'm going to make my dog. I've been a vegetarian 30 years.
Stores. You don't have to just go to Walmart.
Well, I went to Tom Thumb, and Tom Thumb was the same. I mean, they're all the same. Now, we did go to a Dollar General and found a bunch of toilet paper and paper towels like probably 3-4 days ago.
Whoa.
We stocked up. I went in there and I gathered. No. It's Dollar General. It's like fucking Mos Eisley.
They're not like, please only buy like 4 or something.
No. I went in there, and my wife is like, let's go to Ace Hardware. They usually have paper towels. And so we're pulling into the Ace Hardware, and I see some guy walking out of Dollar General with like a grip of toilet paper. And I was like, let's go in there. And my wife's like, you run in. So I run in. They got tons of toilet paper and paper towels. I grabbed as much as I could. I'm like, literally like, and I get in line. Well, I get in line and I have like 4 of each. And I text her and I was like, you got to get in here. You got to get more paper. So we have like, I don't know, 8 packages of paper towels and 4 packages of toilet paper. We just got a brand new puppy. I need paper towels.
This is so stupid. I cannot. Like, who started this? This cannot be because of the virus.
I heard, now this is probably not true, but I heard that in China, the rumor started that the material used to make paper towels is also the material used to make surgical apparatus, masks and whatnot, and that you would have no. Right. It doesn't sound true. I don't think it's true, but that's what I heard.
Oh, God. That's so stupid.
There's no reason to stockpile any of this shit,
Did you hear everybody's like buying bidets? or putting.
That's a good idea.
But I feel like you have to have an actual real bidet. Like you can get like bidet things installed on your toilet, and I guarantee you they don't work as good as a real bidet does. Like you have to like I've been to Europe and you go to the bathroom and they have a toilet and then they have an actual bidet. It's like a toilet, which those probably work.
Oh yeah.
They had this one, and my wife's like, "You want to buy this?" And I'm like, "We're gonna end up like throwing that shit out." Right. You're gonna see so many bidets in people's garbage cans in like 2 months. I guarantee it.
And I'll tell you, you get a couple super soakers, it works just as good.
You know what? You got a bad poop, you gotta take a shower. You're stuck at home anyway. Go in the shower. Yeah. You don't need toilet paper for this. You just go in the shower, put the shower on blast. We're all stuck at home anyway.
Yeah. And
if you got a decent shower, save some paper anyway, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. This is a weird, like I said, we're going to do another episode. You're going to check and see how this one is. Is there anything else you want to talk about with the primary or this? I mean, I feel like.
I think this was it. I think this was like a good current events update. Let's test Skype. If this episode works well or is at least decent enough, then we'll put this up tomorrow and meet up again probably tomorrow night or so.
Yeah.
And we're going to do an actual movie podcast.
Yeah, we're not going to say what it is yet because we don't want to get too excited.
Right.
I will say though, I had it. Have you talked to like your family? Like, like Florida and stuff. How are they doing? Like,
well, I have two brothers, and one is kind of one is a Felix and one is an Oscar. And
that's a
little odd couple reference.
All the kids understand these days.
Right. And so my one brother, who maybe is like a little more neurotic, is very concerned about this. And my other brother is practicing caution, but doesn't think that this is a huge deal. And my father, I worry about quite a bit. He's older. He's the one that should be worried, and he's only moderately worried. I mean, he's not going out as much. He's washing his hands and stuff like that. But I don't know. He just doesn't seem as worried as I would be.
I don't think we need to panic. I just think we need to be smart. You don't go out to eat. You don't go to a movie theater, even though you can't now. The movie theater. Oh, this is interesting. Here's an update if you guys are listening and you haven't heard. Yeah. All the movie theaters are closed, basically. Yeah. All the big major ones. And a lot of movies are going straight to VOD, all the ones that came out recently. If I was Disney Plus, I would release Onward. Onward did not do that great in the theater because of this.
Right.
It's a decent Pixar movie, and it kind of I would say it bombed really, but probably because of the fear of this, and then there was these other movies that came out, and they're all being released on VOD in the end of this week, and then Trolls 2. I don't know if you remember Trolls is coming out like Easter weekend. It's gonna. If there's a theater open and people can go there, but they're going to release it on VOD. So I'm probably more excited about that than anything else. I think I'm more excited about that than my son is.
Yeah.
I don't know why I love that movie so much, the first one.
Yeah, we went to go see it in the theater, and it was tolerable.
But it's going to change, like how you said, this is going to change everything. This might change movies.
Yeah.
People see things anyway. I mean, this is going to change. I mean, people are going to want to go out. There's going to be, like, when people feel like they can go out, they're all going to go out. But I just think, again, it's like we got to be smart about this. You know? Yeah. I have to distance each other for a couple of weeks. If you do that, it's like telling a child, it's like we have a child president, so we need like an adult. We need an adult to say, and thankfully he's smart. The one thing he's smart enough to do is to kind of shut up and let other people talk during his press conferences. He says his shit, and then other people come in and they say like the professional things, and he should just let them, and he should just go away.
Right.
But a lot of adults, unfortunately, act like fucking children, And if you just tell them, like, listen, you got to take this seriously. And if it means, like, you don't have a big wine night out for 2 weeks, you don't go to the movies for 2 weeks, if you don't go to fucking Red Robin, I don't understand the Red Robin thing. If you don't do this, this could go away.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like most people, the way they act at things, it's like a good example is like a pipe that's going to burst. And it's like, they only will believe the pipe's going to burst until it actually bursts.
Right.
Even
Yeah.
they won't, it still will be like, oh, we'll be okay. It's like the dam has to collapse for them to believe the dam was going to collapse. And then there's still going to be a portion of them are going to be like, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
And it's insane. We live in that world. And we'll wrap this up real quick. Did you watch a show called, it's on HBO, it's the one with the spaceship in space where everyone's like trapped?
Oh, no, I have not seen that yet. You're talking about the new one. It's got Hugh Laurie in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've not seen it yet, but I know the show.
On HBO, I totally forgot the name of it. It's a weird name, but
it's called like Fifth Avenue or something, or
something like that. Yeah, and there's an episode where like it's already like the 6th episode. This is like a spoiler, but this just like reminds. This is like a perfect episode. It came out not this week, but the week before. It reminds me of the coronavirus and how people react to things. They started to believe because someone on the ship, the guy from he was on Silicon Valley. He was also on The Office. He's seen this happen before. He's supposed to be like a liaison guy, and he's a complete idiot. He just says all the wrong things, and he's starting to freak out. And he starts telling people the I can't even say it. The people that are there that are stuck on the ship, like they might be stuck in space now for 2.5 years instead of like it's like a joke on Gilbert's Island, like a 3-hour tour. It was only supposed to be like a couple of weeks in space, and then something happens, something breaks, and like Jupiter, the gravity of Jupiter like screwed him up, and now it's going to take him 3.5 years to get back to Earth.
Okay.
So there's a part when they're like convinced that they're actually not on a ship, they're on a movie set, and there's all these idiots telling people in there, and there's a woman in the crowd who goes, "Yeah, I work in VFX. This is bullshit. You guys, this is fake. This isn't a real ship." So people start going into the airlock, and they're like, "Yeah, this is fake. This is bullshit." And they go into the airlock and they open it, and they just freeze in front of people, and everyone's like they freeze to death and float off into space instantly. And then the airlock closes, and then more people are like, "Yeah, this is complete bullshit," and they go in there. And by the time it takes like them to like stop it, 8 people died from this. The most dumb thing. And the dumb lady, the VFX lady, still like, I'm still not sure. I mean, it's like a joke, obviously, but it was like the best satire of the coronavirus. And I was like watching this, I was like, oh my god, but this is so true. There are people who will like. Did you see that basketball player touching all the mics?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Fucking fined. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yes. Yeah, so let's see how this works.
Yeah.
I hope you guys are all okay. All the people in the Czech Republic.
Right.
And wherever we're spiking right now, India or. You said Kansas once.
India, we were for a little while. Kansas. So, yeah, all of you be well and stay out of the Applebee's during this crisis. Otherwise, I'm sure it's fine.
Bottomless fries at Red Robin.
Oh, yeah, Red Robin. I meant to say Red Robin.
It's okay. They're all the same.
It's all the same.
Don't lick any doorknobs. Don't touch your face. Wash your hands. I will say the one good thing about the coronavirus is my son knows how to wash his hands properly now.
Oh, yeah.
I've been trying to get him to wash his hands for years now properly.
Just took a pandemic.
Thanks to a pandemic, he is washing his hands good. You know, again, silver linings. You gotta find the silver linings, you know?
Tell you.
Dolphins on the cove of Italy, because we're all fighting. They're like, where'd they go? We can come back. Whatever, I can't do a dolphin impression.
All right.
All right, well, we'll be back, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I'm Joseph K.
And you still go on about
that.
Thank you for listening to You Still Going On About That. Please like, comment, share, and if you haven't done already, please follow us on Instagram, YSGOAT, Facebook, YSGOAT, and Twitter, YSGOAT. Thank you, and have a great day.